Good evening, folks, and welcome back to KOBTV Evening News. I'm your host, Anchorman Tom Foolery, and tonight we're going to be discussing Muhammad, the man, the myth, the legend, the founder of Islam. 600 years after Jesus was preaching in Galilee and Judea, a new religious leader came on the scene in Arabia. The man's name was Muhammad, and he founded a religion called Islam. Today, it is practiced by about 1/4 of the world's population. It is remarkable how quickly Islam flourished in the Middle East and beyond. We'll see how it began quietly, but later spread widely by missionaries and through battle and conquest. Like Judaism and Christianity, Islam proclaims the oneness of God with no compromise. For Muslims, the Quran is the holiest of holy books. They believe it was revealed directly to Muhammad, and like all religious texts, it was passed down through an oral tradition for many years before being written down. Muslims see their religion as linked to the traditions of Judaism and Christianity. They acknowledge Abraham, Moses, King David, and Jesus all as messengers of God, and Muhammad being the last in the line of prophets. However, Muslims do not consider Muhammad to be divine. Muhammad is rarely represented in any Islamic art. Islamic art is typically formed of geometric or floral patterns. If you visit a mosque, you can find beautiful calligraphy, wood carvings, architectural designs, ornamental carpets, and tile mosaics, but no idols or human representations. Now let's get down to the story of Muhammad. 570 CE, Muhammad is born in the bustling city of Mecca. His family was powerful, but his life was not easy. He was adopted by his uncle, who brought him on trade excursions. He was exposed to many cultures and belief systems. He became a successful merchant himself and was well liked and trusted by those who met him. He was curious about people's faiths and enjoyed talking with Christians, Jews, and others about their beliefs and practices. When he was 25, Muhammad won the favor of a wealthy widow named Khadijah, 15 years older than he was. She proposed to him and he accepted. Khadijah was the first to believe in Muhammad as a prophet, and she became the love of his life. During Muhammad's time, the area of Arabia was not unified. Some people were settled, but many were nomadic, Bedouins who formed tribes and fought among themselves. Being people of the desert, they often fought over water. They made their own laws, often based on revenge and protection of their own, which also gave rise to lots of conflict. Most people worshiped many gods, and merchants made a living from selling figures of idols in cities where commerce thrived. The largest of these cities was Mecca, Muhammad's hometown, where a very important building called the Kaaba housed a stone that was said to have been placed there by Abraham. During the early days of Muhammad's life, however, the Kaaba was a place of business, and it was controlled by Muhammad's own tribe, the Qurayza. According to Islamic tradition, Muhammad received the word of God when he was about 40 years old while meditating in a cave. He was confused and disturbed by these messages, so he didn't share them with very many people. When he did begin to preach about the oneness of Allah, guess who did not like it one bit? The merchants. And the most powerful merchants were his own people. They knew their businesses would fail if people listened to Muhammad. Why would people buy idols if they believed in one God, a God they couldn't see? The Meccan merchants wanted Muhammad and his followers dead. So the Muslims fled to a neighboring town called Medina, where Muhammad developed a community of followers and became both a religious and political leader. In 630, Muhammad returned to Mecca with 10,000 of his followers. He could have destroyed the palace and everyone in it, but he peacefully took over the city and booted out the idol merchants. He made Mecca the religious center of Islam, and it remains as the center today. Muhammad worked to unite the various tribes under Islam. After his death, disputes arose over who should succeed him, which led to a split into two factions of Islam, the Sunni and Shiite. After some rocky times, the Muslims managed to hold it together. but the split in Islam still exists today. Thanks for joining us tonight as we've discussed Muhammad, the man, the myth, the legend. And remember, WKOB TV is where you can find all the news that is news on the news.